What is up, my friends? Welcome back to our live fan reaction after Liverpool have beaten Norwich by 5 goals to 2 to book our place in the fifth round of the FA Cup, where the winner of the replay between Southampton and Watford awaits for Jurgen Klopp's boys. And look, job done. I've recorded my match reaction. I've recorded my player ratings. The player ratings video is going to come out after this live fan reaction, but the match reaction is up now. But this is where you guys get to have your say. Obviously, I want to know your thoughts on the game. How impressed were you with the likes of Connor Bradley, with young James McConnell? Great to see Andy Robertson come back as well from injury. Trent back on the pitch. Szoboszlai back on the pitch. Job done. So look, it's over to you guys now to have your say. Connor Bradley is the GOAT, said Logan. Simon Brundish on X said Curtis Jones has more goals and assists in January than the entire midfield of last season, which is a nice stat to hear as well. Marley High said 100% Bradley Player of the Month. What a talent. I think I love to read that. I love to see that, and I love to see people's views on Bradley evolve, I guess, as we get to see more of him. What a day today for Connor Bradley and for McConnell. Double assist for Bradley. Wonderful assist and a great performance from young McConnell in the centre of the park as well. And usually when I talk about these guys, we say, you know, the biggest compliment I can give them is that they didn't look out of place. More than that, they looked like they belonged there. They looked like they didn't miss a beat. You know, obviously McConnell had a touch of cramp at the end of the game, which forced them off, but what a performance from him, and I'm sure one that will live long in his memory. Should we get the man of the match poll up in the chat anyway? So let's get that going. I mean, it should be a formality, right? But let's ask. I'm going to just write these into the chat. 1 second. Okay. Add a few more options. Go that one. And one more. I need a fourth option for man of the match. Give me a fourth option, although I don't think it really matters, does it? Let me get a fourth option in. I'm just going to say other because I don't have another one, and I don't think there is a fourth contender, to be honest. So, poll is up. Have your say in your Anfield Agenda man of the match. Options are Bradley, McConnell, Jota, or other. I mean, I really don't think we'll be looking too far from the top two names on the list, but hey ho. Anthony got his first goal contribution of the season. Yeah, but they're playing Newport in the FA Cup, mate. I'm not really interested in what United are doing, to be honest. And also would love to know your thoughts, guys, on the draw for the FA Cup. You know, Liverpool got a home draw. We have beaten Norwich, so we know that it is us in that round. And we're going to take on the winner of Watford against Southampton, so would love your thoughts on that game. I thought in the first half Darren was good, said Tom Hughes Lewis. Hey Craig, was only half watching the game and seeing a few goals, but how did we play? It wasn't amazing, mate, but it was entertaining. It was a great day for some of those younger players. Jota got a goal. Darwin stayed on the goal scoring run as well, which is great to see. Grafenberg, nice goal at the end of the game. You know, a little bit more defensive solidity wouldn't go astray moving forward in the season. Still a bit nervous from our marking from set pieces and corners. But look, 5-2 victory, entertaining on what is an emotional day. Great to see Andy Robertson come back onto the pitch as well. Robbo's already been speaking about the reception that he received, and actually I'm going to read that out to you guys now because Mark was kind enough to send it on to me. So Andy Robertson said this: "It was amazing. That's what I was waiting for. The reception that I got will stay with me for a long time. That's what got me through the tough days, and it's just so good to have Robbo back." Jurgen Klopp speaking as well. He said, "I think the atmosphere today showed everything to me. It was wonderful. It's great, but we need an atmosphere on the pitch. For all that, we need the crowd to not think about the manager." Look, everybody will do their part. The crowd, the players, the manager. But today was a tough one. Today was, you know, the first game after the announcement that Jurgen, you know, will be departing at the end of the campaign, and I'm just glad that we got off to the good start we did, put the game to bed, scored some goals, booked a place in the next round. Klopp got to make some changes as well late in the game, rest Canade up for Wednesday against Chelsea. But today for me will be remembered for the performances of Bradley and the performance of McConnell. That's the big points today for me, as well as, of course, the return of Andy Robertson after a long time out, and Dominic Szoboszlai and Trent as well coming on. It just feels like things are starting to fall into place. Players coming back from injury as we look into the business end of the season. Conor Bradley is the real deal, said Guitar Junkie. I agree, 100%. Conor Bradley is brilliant, said Kilkenny Star. Gakpo was bad today. He did absolutely nothing right. I think that's overly harsh. He didn't have his best game today. He should have scored today. But I don't understand why sometimes when we win 5-2 and we're still looking to criticise people, wouldn't it be better on a day like today to just praise the people who you want to praise? Like Bradley or McConnell or, Darwin Núñez for staying on the goal scoring run, or Diogo Jota for being absolutely incredible, and an unbelievable left-footed volley from him as well. These are the things that I want to remember and talk about today, not the one performance who maybe people feel wasn't brilliant. I don't get that mentality, in all honesty. Couldn't bring myself to watch the first half. Still sad about the Klopp news, said Mateus Goals. Yeah, it's hit us all hard, dude. It has. There's no getting away from it. I'd be a liar if I sat here and told you that I haven't been kind of sitting around moaning. Koo said pot kettle black. Yeah, no, fair point, mate. And usually I'd shout you down for an answer like that, but no, you have a fair point. I know I'm one who criticises, but that's kind of why I'm here, though, right? Like, my job here is to give an opinion and player ratings and analysis on the game as best I can. But it's a fair point, I get where you're coming from. I guess today I'm maybe a little bit more sensitive, just trying to keep the good vibe going, my man, because it's been a tough day for us all about Kloppo. But yeah, no, it's a fair show. The heavy heart is today, said Rav D. I'm glad Gakpo had a bad game. If Núñez missed that chance, we'll hear it all week. I can't lie. When he did miss that chance in the first half, that's exactly where my head went. Imagine if that was Darwin. But it wasn't, thankfully. And look, forwards miss chances. It happens. But I thought Darwin took his goal magnificently well. Really good finish from him. After, again, good play down the right from Bradley. Quick question. Has Curtis Jones scored headers before? I don't remember. I think I have a recollection of him scoring one header other than today. But that ball from James McConnell as well was pinpoint accuracy straight onto his head. And he still had a bit to do and he did it well, but what a moment for young McConnell. And I love the celebrations where people initially, of course, went to Curtis Jones, but then everybody came straight back across to celebrate with... So I'm just getting confused by the chat here from Mark. Norwich 1, United 2. Norwich, Mark. Still hungover at him, bud? We played Norwich. Love these youngsters, said Kevin Wang. United conceded against Newport. I'm saying nothing, lads. I'm saying nothing. I'll just drink the coffee and say nothing. I'm delighted as well we got a home draw in the 5th round, because two things. One, we're better at home. And two, Auto Cup scheme. I love knowing that when we get the home draws, there's going to be some very happy fans who might not get to go to a lot of games, but you are in the Auto Cup scheme, so that's a W for them. Bradley eats 10 Reece James for breakfast at Faraz Khan. Klopp's been fantastic, but it's a distraction now and a lame duck shift from... Yeah, I won't lie. I've said that a lot today. There's a lot of this week and that decision, and not the decision, but the timing of it that doesn't sit well with me either. But ultimately, we know where we are and we know what's happening. For me, what's important now is two things. The director of football needs to be sorted quickly, but the manager, because uncertainty is going to freak us all out. And yes, every tiny point dropped or poor performance, the conversation's going to go back to the manager. It just is. It's naturally going to happen. So I think if we can get the managerial stuff sorted quickly, and at least we know who that next manager will be, we can start to, I guess, adjust our thought processes accordingly. But it is all about between now in the end of the season, just sending Jurgen off with the best goodbye we can and as many trophies as we can possibly get our hands on. Jota cooked today. Yes, he was brilliant. Player ratings video is coming out after this, Alvin. It's coming out as soon as this is over. The player ratings video will be going live. It is recorded and ready to go. I feel like sometimes they get lost in between the half hour, so we just put the match reaction up and left the player ratings until afterwards. Craig, who starts versus Chelsea, Bradley or Trent? And thank you, Pranav, for the super chat. Oh, see, I'm going to say Trent starts, but only because I don't know what midfield will look like if Bradley starts. If Bradley starts and Trent's in midfield, I mean, he's not going to put him in there ahead of McAllister, is he? And unless he changes to a double pivot, I don't know. So I think we can expect Trent to be back in his hybrid role. But the fact that we're even having that conversation, the fact that it's a question, that shows you, I guess, how impressed everybody has been with Conor Bradley. I remember this conversation, by the way, when Trent came in and we had Nathaniel Klein at right back. I remember thinking at the time, can Trent really push in past Nathaniel Klein? Little did I know what was about to unfold over the next few years with Trent, but for now, let's just say Conor Bradley has done his career at Liverpool, no harm whatsoever, and same with McConnell. That's a day that both of those young men can be extremely proud of. Cody said put Trent in midfield. With who though? Like, what does the midfield look like then if Trent goes into it? Trent, McAllister, Szoboszlai, maybe? But then who lines up left and right of that midfield? Or do you switch it to a 4-2-1-3 perhaps? Love the first assist for Bradley, the way he won the ball back and drove up the pitch. It was brilliant, wasn't it? Won the ball back, as you said, drove up the pitch. Little 1-2 down the right hand side as well. Then the presence of mind to just drift the ball inside to Darwin, who took a touch and buried it. Yeah, it was a great assist. The second one as well, I love the way he drilled the volley down into the ground to make sure that some of the pace was taken off it. So if somebody got a touch like Gravenberch did, that it wasn't going to fly past their head. So I thought that was clever as well. Klopp speaking as well, and some notes from David Wagner coming in. Wagner speaking about Klopp said, I saw him before the game and we'll see him afterwards. Fine to see him as normally. I wouldn't see him until the summer. He wanted to win. I wanted to win. I lost like always. Speaking about Klopp's decision, David Wagner said, I wasn't shocked. A lot of people said a lot of things about his decision. Everything was spoke about in private. Everything we spoke about in private, we should all respect what he has done. I wish him the very best and is as successful as can be. Beautiful words from his mate, David Wagner there. Klopp, speaking about his eglet, said, it's emotional, but it's my job to pull myself together. I received all the messages people said. I said don't sing the song during the game. They will stop listening to me, obviously. Well, you don't get to not be loved, Jurgen. And people are going to sing the song because they want to show their appreciation for everything. So you're going to have to suck it up, Buttercup, and accept that adulation. Where do you see Thiago and Bajcetic in this Liverpool team? I don't know about Bajcetic because, you know, he's going to have to force his way back into it. But Thiago, look, his days are done. You know, he might get some minutes between now and the end of the season, but there's no future for Thiago at Liverpool. So I haven't really given it much thought process, to be honest. But Bajcetic, he's got to win his place back. And of course, with Turo coming back, and that midfield is going to get even more difficult to force your way into. So let's wait and see. But these are good problems. These are first world headaches, you know. Having too many potentially good players is a good thing. I'm still gutted. So I've been on Bakayoko watch to distract myself. Whatever works, my man. Whatever works. I've just been burying myself in work, basically. Yesterday I spent a day reading articles, looking at statistics, watching videos about Klopp, watching videos about Alonso as well, watching some of Leverkusen's game. They drew 0-0 yesterday, a game they dominated and should have won. Tyler Morton as well, said Dave. Yeah, Tyler Morton on loan, currently a Hull at the minute. He'll be coming back in. Do you know what? This has probably been the best year I can think of for academy breakthroughs into the Liverpool team. You know, just the sheer amount of them that have come through now. You've got Bradley, Kwanzaa, McConnell, Owen Beck has had a run out. We've seen Bobby Clark, of course, as well. Kate Gordon got some minutes at one point. The future looks really bright for Liverpool's academy, and that's honestly so pleasing. Would it be a massive upset if Man United lost to Newport? Would it be a massive upset? Absolutely it would, Robbie. It would be a monumental upset. Do you know what's mad though? So immediately we got the Jurgen Klopp news on Friday. Then on Saturday, Xavi announces he's leaving Barcelona at the end of the campaign. Tuchel kind of joking about going to manage in another country again. Alonso's name being linked with Liverpool and Bayern Munich in 2 days. Xabi Alonso must be sitting over in Leverkusen with his feet up, smoking a cigar, thinking, it's not bad, this managerial lark, is it? Because, the offers for him look like they're going to be coming in thick and fast as well. But we also have a sporting director situation we need to solve. He'll be missed. When I heard the news, I almost cried. Queen Nadra, this is the worst news I've ever had as a Liverpool fan regarding player or staff, because I've said it many times, Klopp to me was more important than any player, any signing, any other contract renewal. He was the glue that held it all together, and he was the shoulders on which it was all built on. But taking the man at face value and his words about energy, I respect him. I respect his honesty. I respect his sincerity, and I don't want to second guess or undermine him by trying to look at other reasons from leaving. The man said it was to do with not being able to deliver the energy needed in the job. He said he can't do it on 3 wheels. Let's respect that. It'll be actually an upset if Newport loses against United, said Adrian. And again, Queen Nadra, thank you for your super chat. Will Xabi Alonso buy new players in Liverpool as of the moment? It's tough to say, Robbie. You'll always look to add a player or two into a team, no matter who you are in the summer transfer window. You always look to refresh a bit. But whatever manager comes into the Liverpool job, they're walking into a very unusual situation, because normally managers get the boot because they failed, or the owner's falling out with them, or the players aren't responding. Whoever walks into the Liverpool job is walking into a winning team who are in a very good position squad-wise, with the depth, with the quality of players, with a club that's been on the up and up, with a stadium that's been now increased to its biggest capacity in my lifetime, with a new training centre, and lots of reasons to be optimistic, and a fan base who are waiting to welcome and get behind a new manager. So I would imagine this is a very, 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 very appealing prospect to anybody out there who's lucky enough to be considered for the position. The ref was brilliant today. Didn't see him at all, said Kelvin. Come on, Newport, the Liverpool lad. It's a new era for everybody, said Robbie Salmon. I couldn't stand to see Tuchel as manager. I couldn't either. I don't like Thomas Tuchel. I just can't warm to him. He doesn't strike me as somebody I'd ever really be rooting for. And it would just feel like we're getting an inferior version of what we already had. So, yeah, not Thomas Tuchel for me. Look, I've even narrowed down my own list. Yesterday I sat here and I had a 3 or a 4 man list. But the more I thought about it over the last 24, 48 hours, it's Alonso or nobody. And I know it can't be nobody, but it's Alonso. It has to be. It's the fit. It's the vibe from the fans. It's just right. It is just right. I know people will talk about his lack of managerial experience at the very top level, and that's understandable. We can't just ignore that. But a lot of this just feels right and fits right. You look at the players, he's the coaches he's worked under. You look at what he's achieved as a player. You look at his standing in the game. You look at his connection to the football club. You look at the way the man carries and handles himself. And I just think he has the gravitas and the acumen and the everything needed to be that man. I would always take Alonso as manager. I'm really impressed with his football, said Wakas Ahmad. Tuchel has the personality of a cactus. There you go, said 1174. Agreed said, you'll never walk alone. Akuaz, if it's not Alonso, it isn't right. Craig, it's so great to see Robbo, Trent and Szoboszlai back for business. Oh, Dania, brilliant. Yeah, over the moon that we got the guys back on the pitch. Because we needed a bit of feel-good factor, right? So we got the win, but yeah, as you've said, Dania, to be able to see Robbo back on with the reception he got, Trent, Szoboszlai, yeah, it's as good as it can be on a week where we've all been rocked to our core. FSG is going to use analytics to pick a manager. It will form part of their process, yes. But, you know, from what we're reading and seeing in the media, it looks like the sporting director is the first one to be searched for by Liverpool, because George Schmadtke is going to be leaving. Linders will be leaving. Kravitz will be leaving. Matos will be leaving. I think, look, is there a world that exists where Linders goes to Leverkusen and Alonso comes to Liverpool? And people might go, well, they're not going to take that chance. But I would say, why not? They took a chance on Alonso from Sociedad B. And I think Pep Linders being Jurgen Klopp's number 2 and the one who takes the sessions a lot of the time at Kirby, I think it's not the worst shout in the world at all for a club that, you know, are looking to continue what Xabi Alonso's doing there if they leave him or lose him to Liverpool or elsewhere. So that's my initial thoughts, where Linders to Leverkusen and Alonso to Liverpool. And for people saying it won't happen, why? Genuine question, why not? What's so different about approaching Linders and giving him a run at a top job against what they did with Alonso? I don't think it's that crazy a thought process at all. Worst thing about having the best manager in the world is that no one's good enough to replace him, said Andrew. Fair point, my man. It's the big shoes to fill. Queen Nadra said, we enjoy the Gegenpress for 9 years. Does Alonso play Gegenpress? No, not really. He more likes to control the ball, dictate possession, switching between a back 3 and a back 4 in and out of possession. Sometimes you end up with a 4-2-4 system with the way Alonso plays. But a lot of the players we have at the club would work in Alonso's preferred methodology of how he plays. Xabi would be great, but I'm leaning towards Amorim from Sporting. He looks perfect, works on a budget, and the Sporting fans adore him. Also plays a back 3. I'm sure his name will be considered baked. I just don't know, is it too big of a step up maybe to go from Sporting Lisbon to Liverpool? Now look, I grant you, Alonso, again, big step up, but he has that connection with the fan base and understands the club already. But Amorim's name is one that will be considered by the looks of it, as will Thomas Frank, as will De Zerbi, and a few others. But for me, I just love the idea of Alonso. Because there isn't nobody else in the world as Jurgen. There's no one else I want. You know, Jurgen's the man, the best manager. We've said it all along. If we went into a factory, put in ingredients to come up with a Liverpool manager, it would come out looking like Jurgen Klopp. So, as somebody pointed out earlier on, losing Klopp, whoever comes in next is not going to be Klopp. So, we have to expect feelings to be a little bit different. But I think we'll all get behind the next manager. I think Klopp will certainly challenge everybody to get behind the next manager, whomever that is. And look, whoever the club decide upon, I'll certainly be getting behind them as well. But my preference right now would be Alonso. Stats say Alonso's team does the most gegenpressing in the league. There you go. So there's a Butler. So again, from what I've watched, I think I don't really consider the gegenpressing for Alonso, because I look at the statistics of possession and he likes to keep the ball, move the ball, kill teams with the ball, and that old philosophy of the ball moves quicker than any opposing player, so tire them out that way. But certainly holds more possession than I would usually suspect of a Jurgen Klopp team. But look, these are all things I hope we get to figure out together as we maybe see, you know, and do videos and talk about the tactics that Alonso uses and tries to figure out what we could implement our team in that way, or who we could implement into it. But I guess we gotta get that. We gotta have that acknowledgement that he's the gaffer coming in first. Craig Alonso will always have the rail job at the back of his mind, won't he? So, here's a question, right? And it's a fair one, I think. Is the Real Madrid job more desirable for Alonso than Liverpool? I don't know that it is. I don't know that it isn't either. But I certainly, if I'm to say who he has the more affinity with the fans, I would suggest Liverpool. I know, look, he's such a great player and likeable guy that everyone's fans will probably love him, and he certainly did well with Real, and he did very well with Munich, but honestly, I think his connection would be strongest with the Liverpool fans. Maybe I'm biased in that, but I wouldn't be fearing if he's in the Liverpool job that he's looking to run away to take the Madrid job. No, I wouldn't. Do I think he gets that job someday? Yeah, probably. But he's so young in his managerial career at 42, that even if he managed Liverpool for 7 years, he's still only in his late 40s before he could probably take that Madrid job as well. So she'll get Gareth Barry if not Alonso. Now stop that. Stop that. Rafa's hijacked the chat there. How about Hansi Flick? It's just, whoever it is, I want somebody with a bit of passion. I want somebody who is expressive and gets involved and lives and breathes every minute of it. And that doesn't strike me as Hansi Flick. What sporting director would you like to see? I don't have a clue. I'm sorry that I don't have a better answer for you, but I really, 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 really do not have a clue who the best sporting director would be. If his name's not Michael Edwards, then I'm kind of lost. But it is a really important position in modern football that we have to fill, a really important role that we have to fill. Alonso's kids were born in Liverpool and raised as Liverpool fans, not Real Madrid, said Stephen Landry. Why don't they just hire you? Me? Because I'd be a nightmare, mate. I'd be terrible. You'd all rot me out of the job in a week. Because my philosophy would be just attack the shit out of everything. So yeah, you'd want rid of me in a week. I'm just a passion merchant with no tactical acumen. I could give the team talks though. I could definitely do that. Give the team talks and do the post-match interviews, but I'd have to get somebody in to do the actual coaching work. Only thing that lets Alonso down is his experience, but De Zerbi has that with Brighton. Yeah, De Zerbi has lots of experience. I feel he'll take the Barca gig. That's just my guess at this point. I think De Zerbi and Tuchel are probably going to be the two names that Barca look at, and I can definitely see De Zerbi and Barcelona being a good fit stylistically for the way that they want to play football. So that's what I think for the Barca gig, one of those two. Craig, your wages are too high up. Well, that's fair as well, yeah. You know, I'd certainly want an increase on whatever it is Klopp's getting paid. Thoughts on Stephen Kenny? Didn't work out. Good Irish footballing man. You know, worth giving a try to. Probably earned the right to have a try, but you know, didn't work out. So, you know, what happens next? Is it going to be Roy Keane? Is it going to be Neil Lennon? I don't know. We need to get Alonso down if he's one Bayern are going to come call and get rid of for Tuchel. See, here's the thing about Bayern, right? Whatever about Alonso leaving Leverkusen for Liverpool, I think if he leaves Leverkusen for Bayern, that's his status changes there with Leverkusen fans quickly. I think it would be an easier move for him from the backlash perspective to come to Liverpool. Because I think, look, again, and maybe I'm just biased here, but I feel like his connection with Liverpool is stronger than his connection with any of the other clubs mentioned on his list of verbal agreements that he could leave if they come calling: Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. If you got the Liverpool job, who would be the two weakest players that you would sell to bring in your own players? Who would I sell if I was Liverpool manager coming in? Costas and Diaz. Costas and Diaz would probably be the two. If you pushed me and I had to sell two, probably those two. I feel like they're upgradable positions, especially the backup left back. I won't say Gakpo yet because I want to give Gakpo more time. I think Gakpo's still developing as a young footballer as well. I don't know if Alonso would leave Leverkusen so early in the job. Well, he'd get through one season with them on because whatever happened, we're not having a manager come in till the end of the campaign. So it would be tough, I get you, to leave after one season. It would be very harsh, but it's a big job that's become available. And with all due respect to Leverkusen, who are a fantastic club, if Liverpool come a calling, it'd be a hard job to turn down. Brentford's Lee Dykes be a good shout as sporting director. Their recruitment is top notch. I'm sure I've seen his name mentioned in an article, Pranav, that I was reading yesterday. I just can't remember where. Agreed, Craig. Well said about Gakpo. Look, Gakpo and Gravenberch have time to develop and continue to develop, and they're still young, so that's why I went with the two I went with. We've seen enough of a sample size of Costas in particular to know I don't think he's going to be the guy to fill the shoes when Robertson departs or hangs up his boots. And Diaz, I feel, has been a bit up and down. I feel like we could probably find a more ruthless left winger with a bit more of a finishing product. But look, I was pushed to answer the question, and that's my honest answer. Do you think that Alonso will bring any of his Leverkusen players with him? Doubtful. I doubt it. Again, if you're Leverkusen and you're going to allow Alonso to depart, I would say one of the things that you're going to say to him is don't be coming back here to try and strip the squad down. Unless, of course, there are release clauses that, wants to sign. But, if he does want to bring anybody with him, Florian Wirtz wouldn't be too bad. But here's one thing I want to ask you about Alonso, because somebody mentioned this in the chat day before yesterday. Do you think Alonso could be the guy to actually turn Carvalho into the player we think he's capable of? So could he turn Carvalho into a Florian Wirtz type player? It's an interesting thought process. It's an interesting mental exercise, I guess. Steve Clark from Scotland's a tactical genius. We already had Clark as part of the Liverpool managerial team, and you are right in what you say. He's a very good coach. Just don't think he's ready or would be a good fit to manage Liverpool. I don't think he has the standing in world football for me, but is a really good coach. He's like too good for a number two, but at the lower end for me of the number one job, if you get me. I think Madrid job is Jurgen's next year, said Maddie Gorman. I think the German job is Jurgen's next year, in all honesty, or the English job. And that, if I was to put money down for Jurgen's next job right now, I think he goes into international football with England or Germany. That would be my guess. But he's probably in that rare position of literally getting to pick whatever job he wants. I just don't know if Real Madrid and Florentino Perez and what the club are and what they're looking to do with the Super League. Remember, he had the chance to go to Manchester United and he was shown around and it was described as Disneyland to him. Jurgen doesn't do the bullshit. And Florentino Perez, I think, would be a little bit too much for Jurgen to deal with. I don't know what you're laughing about the England thing. It's been mentioned by many journalists as an option for Jurgen. So you can mock it all you want, but if there's any FAs in the world that can afford to pay a manager, the English FA is one of them. And if they were to want the best man for the job and Jurgen's available, it'd be ridiculous not to look to try and get him, wouldn't it? You know? Xavi leaving Barca factor in. Again, I don't maybe I'm deluded on this, guys, but I can't see Jurgen Klopp going over to work with Juan Laporta or Florentino Perez. I just don't see it. I think I've always said this. If Klopp goes to Spain, I've always thought Atletico Madrid is probably the club. And I can absolutely see Klopp going in to replace Simeone, because they're the sort of underdogs, they're the fighters, the fans would idolise them. I think that's the job in Spain that suits Jurgen above Barcelona and Real Madrid. I think that's the job that would appeal to Jurgen more than Barcelona or Real Madrid. Maybe I'm deluded. Just my gut feeling on it. And again, thank you, Liam Thomas, for that super chat, mate. If Jurgen doesn't take the Germany job, I hope he takes the US men's national team job, said Thunder Cheek. I totally agree. The FA will offer the job to Jurgen, said Mark Bell. You know, imagine what Jurgen would do with that group of English players right now. Probably the best technically gifted group of English players I can remember in my lifetime, being subjected to Gareth Southgate's mundane personality and defensive thought process. Yeah, Klopp could do a lot better with that group. Could see Barca for bringing the sleeping giant back to the top kind of thing. But again, Super League. Remember, Klopp was very, very, very against the Super League, and Barcelona and Real Madrid are still involved in pushing that project. And no way, that's not true. It's not 2-2. Will you stop? It's 2-2. Nah, come on now. Nah, they haven't. Have they equalised? Is it really 2-2? Oh my God, the state of it. The absolute state of that from United. They go 2-0 up early doors away, and you're thinking, is this going to be 5, 6 or 7 to be pegged back to 2-2? Oh my days. Oh lads. Where's Ben? Hang on. Where is it? Just Ben, would you mind, mate? Could you update me on the score in your game? I'm just not seeing that in here in the chat about it. I presume you're still 2-0 up, right? I'm a bad man. Full strength United as well. I fully expect a go fuck yourself message back from Ben here. Look, my friends, I'm going to go and watch the comedy show that is Manchester United drawing 2-2 to Newport of Gwent in the FA Cup. Player ratings video going to be out now in about 2 minutes time. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. I'll see you guys at 4 p.m. tomorrow for a new show as always. Thank you for joining me. Do drop a like on the stream. Hit that subscribe button before you head off. I'm off. I might need to head over to Wales. United might need me to come on and rescue this game for them, so I might have to put a pair of boots on. But look, much love as always. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.